Hi, I'm Morgan, and today I'm going to be talking about my TBR for May. The first book on my TBR is The Theban Plays by Sophocles. This is actually a collection of 3 plays, King Oedipus, Oedipus at Colonus and Antigone. These 3 plays do follow the story of one family, mostly centering around the character of Oedipus, who you might have heard of because of the term Oedipus complex. I'm not going to discuss that right now. But he is a very famous figure who marries his mother. Lovely. So Oedipus is a pretty well-known figure, but I've never really read anything that centres on him. I just kind of know about him in the general I know about Greek mythology. It's the same with Antigone. I know about her story, but I've never really read anything that actually puts down what happened to her. I studied a small excerpt when I was in high school and I really loved it. And I'm really interested in Antigone's story of burying her brother against the decree of the king. I also don't know a lot about the figure of Creon, but I do know that I don't like him, and I'm quite excited to have more reasons not to like him. I'm looking forward to adding to my knowledge about Greek plays and Greek mythology. The next book on my TBR is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is a book that is very popular here on BookTube and Bookstagram and Book Twitter and everyone who talks about books. And honestly, I wasn't sure if it would be my thing. I do find contemporary novels to be kind of hit and miss, and I've not read a lot of contemporary romance. So I was kind of on the fence about this. But my friend CJ recommended it to me and I added it to my list, and then it was my birthday and we're in quarantine, so she sent me a copy and now I'm gonna read it. You're welcome, CJ. I don't know too much about this novel. I just know that it's an enemies to lovers romance, which isn't a trope that I'm overly fond of, but I've heard from a lot of people that it's a lovely romance, and hopefully that means that it'll actually give me a reason to like the trope. The main characters are a Prince of England and the son of the US President, I believe. So we get some good gay content in there and also some high stakes, I'm probably going to cringe, but like in a fun way. And CJ, who recommended this book, is known for not handling cringe, so if she could finish it and like it, hopefully I will too. And since we're still in quarantine and the world's kind of uncertain, I think a cute romance is just what I need right now. I must live vicariously through novels. I thought that was a dog. It's not. It's a cat. It's several cats. There's just free roaming cats. I love them. I would just like to clarify that where I stand to film, I can see directly at my bedroom window, and that's why I keep getting distracted. The next book on my TBR is As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. Now, I haven't read a lot of Faulkner. I don't think I've really read anything by him, and I don't really know what this is about apart from, like, death. I'm kind of being shit at being a booktuber right now, aren't I? I don't know what any of these books are about. But anyway, this is one of the many classics that I own and I'm trying to work my way through. You might notice that I'm putting them between easier to read books, aka more modern books. I find that works for me. It kind of gives my brain a break between them and allows me to actually enjoy classics, which I find that I actually do. The next book on my TBR is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Crichton? I don't know. As a Scottish person, I feel like it should be Crichton or Crichton. The cat is in my back garden. What is happening? Anyway, Michael Crichton, or however you pronounce it. This was another present delivered to me in my quarantine birthday from my friend Ashley. This was presented to me without comment or note from Waterstones, and it was kind of confusing until I realised it was Jurassic Park, and then I found it really funny and my mum was extremely confused. So thank you to Ashley for that sweet quarantine entertainment. This is, as you might know or might have guessed, the book that the movie is based on. It's kind of sci-fi, but rooted in the time that it was written, which was like the 90s, so it's kind of contemporary sci-fi, which I find really interesting. Looking at what we could make in our world, and it kind of seems more realistic that way, which is the best. Don't kill me, but I haven't actually watched the film the whole way through. So I'm quite excited to get the details from this and then go and watch the movie and just like love it. I was going to sing the little Jurassic Park tune there, but I'm not going to subject you guys to that. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the book and the movie compare, since I'll be seeing both of them with fresh eyes. The next book on my TBR is All's Well That Ends Well by William Shakespeare. Yes, it's another Shakespeare play. Leave me alone. And I actually bought a bunch of them secondhand a few months ago, and I'm just now getting around to working my way through them thanks to all this wonderful free time. Take a shot every time I mention quarantine. New drinking game. This is a comedy, which is, again, probably a good thing at this point. I'm looking forward to reading a lot of fun and entertaining books, and hopefully this will be one of them. Again, because why stop a habit of a lifetime? I don't know what this is about, but I do find that actually quite helpful for Shakespeare, because it stops me from being a lazy reader, as I need to actually read into it to understand what's happening, and it allows me to form my own opinions and my own interpretation of the text. The next book on my TBR is Hiral by Michael Grant. This is one I actually know something about. Yay! This is the last in a trilogy. The first two are Monster and Villain, and the series is a sequel to the Gone series by Michael Grant. Gone is about a bunch of teenagers who are basically in this kind of bubble dome, and all of the adults disappear and they can't get out of this dome, and then they start developing superpowers, and it's a whole series. I think there's like 6 or 7 books. I don't know, but they're all up there. I loved Gone as a teenager, so when Michael Grant decided to release a sequel, I had to read them. I also really love that we get to see Decca. She was one of my faves from the original series, and I love that it's her that we get to see dealing with all of these new things, and not like Sam and Astrid, who you would assume it would be. But no, they're like, we've had enough of this. We don't have superpowers anymore. We're just gonna like get money and live in our beach house. And honestly, I vibe with that. I'm not going to talk too much about the plot of this one because it is the last in the trilogy, but I do know we're going to get some information about the Dark Watchers, who are kind of mentioned throughout the first series and then a lot more in this series. And at this point, I'm just really excited to get some answers and to figure out why all of these things have happened the way they have, and why this alien presence will not just leave these poor human teenagers alone. What I love the most about this series is that teenagers are allowed to be teenagers. They fuck up all the time and they don't know how to do things, and they've got powers. They're like, obviously we're going to be superheroes, but then they're not good at it because most teenagers wouldn't be good at it. Like, I just turned 21, and if I suddenly got a superpower, I would probably mess up immediately. So it's very relatable in that regard. I also really love superhero stories in general, and I like a more kind of realistic look at it, where it's like, teenagers don't know what to do, and the government is like, let's stop this right now. It's going to be kind of sad that it's done, but I'm also looking forward to having it all wrapped up, because I love having a little finished series that I can point at, so yay! Productivity! And the last book on my TBR is Island by Aldous Huxley? Aldous? I don't know. I don't know at this point. My camera fully just died. I really need another battery. And again, I do not know what this is about. At all. I know that this is by the same guy who wrote Brave New World, which is quite a well-known dystopian novel. It's very weird. Honestly, the only reason I bought this book is because I saw a quote from it years and years and years ago, and I was like, yes, this is what I need. So now I'm going to read it, and it might be bad, but I will always have that quote. You may soon realise that is a common occurrence for me. Don't know if that's the best way to choose books, but here we are. And that is my TBR for the month of May. I'm also hoping to start doing some rereading of books that I liked when I was younger, and some of what I would call my favourite books, and I'm not going to put them on my TBR because I'm just kind of going to read them as they come, and I'm going to take my time because I want to actually go through them and not necessarily analyse them, but for some of them I would quite like to do an individual video. So I guess that'll be a surprise, you know, if it just kind of pops up on my channel. Now that I've kind of got into the swing of things, my goal is to post a new video every Wednesday. We will see how that goes. And next week it'll be a wrap up of everything that I read in April. If you've made it to the end, I'd love it if you would like, comment, subscribe, come interact with me somewhere. My social media links are in the description. And I always love hearing people's opinions on what I'm reading or what I have read. Thanks for watching. Bye!